Hey y'all, PopsCooper, LivingCooper.com. Look what Pops got. I got a project here that's been in the making for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Today I got a coop simple how-to that ain't gonna be simple at all. I'm starting a series with this 1980 Vespa P200 restoration. This has been in my wife's family. Her mom bought it brand new in 1980 in California, and then they moved to Texas. And there was a little incident on the highway, and it got stuck in the barn, never rode again. And in about 2000, it was kind of gifted to me in a collaboration with my wife's stepdad to restore it. It didn't run when we took it out of the garage. We had the engine rebuilt, and over time, we were able to accumulate parts, and unfortunately, he passed away last year. And so now, here it is. We're going to try to get this thing wrapped up. So we're going to start on this thing. I don't know how long it's going to take. If you're interested in doing something like this, certainly watch my videos, but also check out Vespa Motorsport. Those guys have a great restoration 4-part series on restoring a P200E. It's Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. That's what I'm using as kind of a guide to do mine, along with the different parts books and stuff. So keep watching, and I'm going to start tinkering with this thing, and we'll see how long it takes. I think it took them about 4 days to do their restoration, not including paint. I know it's going to take me a lot longer than that. I'm not really a mechanic, especially a Vespa mechanic. But we'll see what happens. Keep watching. Okay, y'all, here we go. Let's get started. I guess episode 1, day 1. I don't know how much I'm going to get done. I'm just kind of tinkering along with these things. I had knee surgery, and Dana loved me so much that she let me move this into the living room. So I'm just kind of tinkering. I'm not in a rush to get all this done. So we'll see how it goes, how much I get done today, and how long it takes me to put this thing together. Like I said, check out the guys over at Vespa Motorsport. They got a YouTube on really how to do this. They're professionals, and I ain't. But keep watching, and let's see this thing go together. All right, here we go.
First things first, we need to go ahead and clean out all the threaded holes that are located in the body. I bought a cheap metric tap set off Amazon, and I'm using that to go ahead and chase each of the holes and make sure they're nice and clean. The two sizes of taps that I used were M8 by 1.25 and M6 by 1.0. So now that we're done with cleaning out those holes, let's move forward and pull some parts over here and see if we can figure out what to do next. While digging around in all these parts, it sure didn't take long for me to realize that this was a royal mess, and I had to figure out what I'm gonna do. So I kind of got overwhelmed while I was digging around in this stuff, and I just started looking for anything that looked like I might be able to get something accomplished today. So hawed, looked around, finally found the electrical harness, and then I thought, wait, one of the things they did to prep on the frame was to grind a little bare spot on the upper screw hole of each turn signal in the leg shield. So I grabbed my Dremel and did that. So I know I'm all over the place here, but when I was prepping the turn signal screw holes, I looked over and saw the bag with the floor rails in it, and I thought that ought to be easy to do. Let's do that. And I grabbed this bag and started tearing it open all gung-ho to put the floor rails in. So I got the floor rails out, laid them out, and then I realized, oh, this ain't gonna work. First, I don't have a rivet gun or rivets, and second of all, I realized that the outside floor rails overlap the end of the leg shield trim. And since I don't have the leg shield trim or the rivet gun, I can't do this one, so it's back to the electrical system. Well, this seems promising. It looks like I got everything I need to put the turn signals in, including new lenses for the turn signals. One of them was broken, so he bought new lenses, and it seems like everything's here. So I'm going to go ahead and take these apart and replace the lenses and put them on. While taking these apart, I noticed that the screws were kind of dingy and oxidized, and I know that he bought some hardware kits, so I decided to dig around and see if I could find some new screws for the turn signals. Surprisingly, I found some. The parts number even matched up. Unfortunately though, here's where I realized that you got to put the doggone leg shield trim in before you put the turn signals in. So I'm just going to put the turn signals back together and then move on until I get some leg shield trim. Well, finally, here's something I can do. It's the bag helmet hook, and it's all here. Of course, it's just 2 screws, the hook, and 2 nuts, but nonetheless, I got it, and I can actually put it in. Finally, progress. So to put this thing in, the first thing I did was grab the hook, screws and nuts, and then I just put them in finger tight. Next, I grabbed an 8mm socket with a 1/4 inch drive and a Phillips screwdriver, and then I just tightened those screws all the way down. Or I guess you could say I tightened the screws up and the nuts down, since I'm upside down. Think. Now what? Oh, I got it. Back to the wiring harness. This wiring harness has been folded up for a while, so I've got to straighten this thing out, and then I got to determine which side is the front, which side is the back. I don't really know. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do here. Now, to figure out which end is the front, which end is the back, I'm going to kind of look this thing over and see if anything kind of sticks out as to being obviously the front or the back, either way. And then I'm also looking in the catalog of spare parts from Piaggio. There's an electrical connections figure in there that shows the wiring harness kind of overlaid over the body of the Vespa. This drawing doesn't have any color code on it, but by looking at the way the wires are laid out and branched out, I can kind of determine what their orientation is and which side is the front and which side is the back. Now that I've figured out which end of the wiring harness is the front and which end is the back, I've kind of switched gears and I've pulled out the service station manual for the Vespa, which has an electrical wiring diagram in it that has color codes listed. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can match these color codes up and identify exactly which wires go to which electrical components. I soon found out that not all the colors on my wiring harness matched up with the colors on the wiring harness found in the service station manual, but fortunately there's a service station manual amendment number 1 revision 1, and all my wires did match up for that one except one. I think it said it was light blue and mine was just regular blue. So that's something you need to be aware of, that not all the colors may match up, but there's enough there to match up that you can figure it out. Once I figured out where a wire or a set of wires went, I grabbed some white electrical tape and a pen, and I marked them so that I could keep track of what goes where easier than just having to look at the colors. Now, to be honest here, I did not realize that my wiring harness matched the wiring harness in the service station manual amendment until Nana pointed it out. So I just matched up the wires I could, and then I started to bundle them up. So I took that same white electrical tape and I kind of taped all the wires bundled them up as much as I could so that it make it a little easier to pull the wiring harness through the body of the Vespa. Now we're going to pull the electrical harness through the body, and we're going to do that by running this fish tape from the front of the frame through the body tunnel, if you will, and out from where the fuel tank sits. Now we can tape the wiring harness to the fish tape and pull it through the body. You don't necessarily have to use a fish tape. You could use a stiff wire to do this, but it's good to have because it helps by giving you a way to pull the harness through, and it also helps guide the harness and keeps it from getting stuck so many times. You will have to use this little access hole where your rear brake goes. You will need to use your fingers in that little access hole as well. You will probably have to reach in there because towards the front of the frame there's like a little bulkhead in there that you kind of gotta wiggle the wires and get them through there before you can pull them all the way out. So you can see that I'm kind of pushing wire in from the back and wiggling it with my fingers and pulling it out the front until I get it all the way pushed through where the brake switch wires are sticking out there. Then you know your harness is essentially all the way in. Well, there you go. That's pretty much all that we can get done today is pulling in the wire harness. Keep watching.
Episode 1, I guess, if you will, in the books. I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty much a parts nightmare over here. So I think Nana and I are going to go ahead and spend some time going through the parts, cataloging, see what we got. He's got all kinds of duplicate parts and doesn't have every part that he needed. Thought that he had everything he needed, but I guess not. So we're going to have to go through and verify all our parts and then order some stuff. But I was able to get the wiring harness run, got that run, and got the little helmet hook connected there. And that's pretty much it all day, digging through pieces and parts. Wasn't all day. Did take some breaks, obviously. Had to take some breaks on my knee and had to go to the dentist. That was enjoyable. So, hope this kind of helped you, maybe. If not, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Either way, we'll take it. Leave some comments. How we can improve, maybe some experiences you've had on rebuilding a Vespa P200E. And maybe you can kind of give me some guidance and other people that might be watching the video. Share the video for other people who might be looking for this content, and check us out on our social media, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter at LivingCooper. And check out our blog over at LivingCooper.com. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified next time I upload another episode. And check out our other videos, and keep watching, and we'll see you guys next time.